So, dear friends, it was my privilege to choose the topic for the presidential lecture. And even we are all food addicts, the meeting venue in Lyon refers to history, as they say, football, rugby, movies, and above all, the cuisine, especially the gastronomy. So it's my pleasure to introduce Yves Roueche, food critic for Radio France, food writer, and he published many books on the gastronomy, especially one about the Lyonnaise gastronomy. He is professor as well in this field in the Catholic University of Lyon, so it's my privilege and my pleasure to give him the talk. Thank you very much for your attendance.
Thank you very much. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Oftenly, when the tourists stay in Lyon, they are going visiting the Halle de Lyon Paul Bocuse and eating in a bad restaurant in the touristic area. So it is not the right image of the Lyon gastronomy. It's the reason why I would like to give you some other inputs by answering a single question. Why Lyon is still the world capital? We do not have the title. I would like to answer a single question. Why Lyon is still the world capital of gastronomy? Lyon was proclaimed world capital of gastronomy 3 times between 1925 and 1935 by a journalist on culinary criticism, Kurnonsky. In 1935, he wrote a book which title was Lyon, World Capital of Gastronomy. In this book, he wrote, until the revolution, the mouth was for the city council a way to govern and retain influence. So the gastronomy has a very long history in the city, and I would like to summarize this history in 5 topics. The city was founded in -43 before Jesus Christus by the Romans at the junction of 2 big rivers, the Rhone and the Saône. And what is important is that the Rhone Valley, extended by the Saône Valley, was the main way to transport goods during 20 centuries between the Mediterranean Sea and the Nordic countries. Some years later, the Roman Emperor August asked the General Agrippa to build 4 terrestrial ways to link Lyon, which name was Lugdunum. Lyon was the capital of the Gaul. So he wanted to link the capital of the Gaul with the different province of Gaul, the different region of Gaul. So he built 4 ways, one to the west of France, going to the Atlantic Ocean, another one going to the south, to Arles, so along the Rhone River, and 2 other terrestrial ways going to the north, so one going from Lyon to Chalon, turning left to Paris, and to the north of France. And the last one was going from Lyon to Chalon, turning right to Dijon, to the Rhine Valley, and to the Nordic countries. These terrestrial ways were called the Via Agrippa, and they were used by the Romans to transport goods, the army, and also the postal mail. The third topic regarding the DNA of the city is that Lyon was founded in the middle of a fabulous territory, what we call in France terroir. The terroir is the alliance of a territory that produce good product. So we will extend this subject later on. The second point is the Renaissance phase. At the Renaissance, the King of France, Louis XI, gave the privilege to the city to build 4 one-month fairs per year. These fairs attracted thousands of merchants from Europe. Most of them were coming from Italy and to sell their goods in the city, silk fabric, for example, and many other things. And if we are talking about selling products during this phase in the city, we are also talking about paying for the product. So after the merchant came a lot of bankmen from Italy, especially from Florence, such as the Medicis. It is very well known, to guarantee the payment of the goods. All these merchants and bankmen brought with them a lot of Italian products that became local specialties. I'm talking about the Savoy, the pistachio and truffle Savoy. It's a big cooked sausage. I'm talking also about the pâté croûte. The pâté croûte is a cold meat pea. I'm talking about the kind of dumplings which became in Lyon the pike quenelle, another specialty. And the last one is the Lyon donuts. The Lyon donuts is a donuts called in Lyon the bugne, that was eaten during the lean days on the Christmas Lent. They introduced many other things. They introduced the chocolate to drink, they introduced the ice cream, small fried piece of pork, the gratin of macaroni, and so on. I cannot detail everything. So, sometimes later, still at the Renaissance, another king of France, François I, gave the privilege to the city to start a new industry, the silk industry, in order to compete against the Italian. And the silk industry grew very quick because at the Revolution time, in 1889, there was 40% of the population that were working for the silk industry. That means more or less 60,000 people. There was a small part of these people that were the silk traders. They were the guys that were selling silk fabric to the European royal and imperial court. And the main part of these people were silk workers, the people who were working for the silk traders. And when the golden age of this silk industry was the 19th century. But what happened is that the silk workers were very not happy regarding the price they were paid for their job, and they did some strikes and revolts. And after that, the silk traders decided to externalize the silk industry out of the city. It was the start of the decline of the silk industry in Lyon. And in 1930, with the American financial crisis, followed by an economical crisis, the silk industry fell down definitively. The silk traders were very rich people. They got a lot of money, and they were able to employ people at home, and especially bourgeois cookswomen who were cooking for themselves. When after the when the silk industry fell down, they were not able to employ anymore these people, so they fired everybody, and especially the cookswomen. What did the cookswomen? They did what they knew to do. They continued to do cooking, but it was impossible at this time for them to have their own restaurant. So they got married with a guy who was the owner of a local restaurant, a local cabaret, where you were able to drink wine or buy wine to take away. They moved to the kitchen and they started to do some cooking. They became the Lyon mothers. It's the famous Lyon mothers. Some of them did a gastronomic cuisine, the same cuisine they did for the silk traders, called in Lyon the soyeux. Before, it is the Fillou mother. The Fillou mother is the mother of the Lyon gastronomy. It is, she trained another mother, the Brasé mother, which who is the most famous mother of the city. And some others did a popular traditional cuisine, the cuisine for the silk workers. So it's very important, this silk industry in the city. After that came the years 1930s. It was a time where the silk industry fell down, so the city council had to find another way to generate business, another strategy, and they decided to focus on the alliance on mountain tourism and gastronomy. It was also the time where the Brasé mother got 3 Michelin star for her 2 restaurants in the city, and it is also the time where Kurnonsky proclaimed Lyon world capital of gastronomy. After the Second War, the city council forgot the gastronomy. They focused on transportation, rebuilding the city, pharmaceutical and chemical industry. Hopefully, Paul Bocuse was already trained by the Brasé mother, and he was able to continue this tradition of gastronomic cuisine. Yes, I would like to say that without the Italian, Lyon would never have been the world capital of gastronomy. And without Paul Bocuse, Lyon would no longer be the world capital of gastronomy because he promotes the French gastronomy, but also the Lyon gastronomy everywhere. When Kuronowski proclaimed Lyon world capital of gastronomy, he used 6 criteria: the abundance, variety, and quality of the product, the openness to the product and wine of the world, a regional but also a world cuisine, a culinary tradition, presence of experienced chefs working in quality restaurant, and the taste for cooking and preparing a good meal, affirmed at all levels of the social scale. But the question is, what if Kuronowski came back today? It is a good question to ask. Regarding the first point is the abundance and quality of the product. I'm sorry because I have a lot of slides. Oh, yes, okay. Lyon was built as a crossroad of the most fabulous terroir in the world. In the north, you have the Burgundy with its fabulous wine, the Beaujolais. In the south, you have the wines of the Côte du Rhône. The north, with its semi-continental climate, is the homeland of the large plains. It's the homeland of the cow, the Charolais especially, and the poultry from Bresse. If we have a cow, that means we have cow milk. So it is also the homeland of cow cheeses, butter, and cream. In the opposition, in the south, with its Mediterranean climate, is the homeland of the olive oil, vegetables and fruit. And it's the homeland of the goat cheeses. It is very other product with another climate. We have also river fish coming from from La Dombe or different region, crayfish, and many other things. I'm sorry. From the other region came in the city cooked or dried and salted deli meats from Isère, Ardèche, and Savoie. And the area around Lyon provide 63 product designation of origin, 36 product geographical indication product, and 81 red label product. Just to show you that we have a fabulous terroir around Lyon. Regarding the second criteria, openness of the product to the product and wines of the world, there is nothing special today because the globalization standardizes everything. You can find all the product everywhere today. Regarding the third criteria, regional but also world cuisine, Lyon is the only city in the world to have a world cuisine plus a double regional cuisine. Somewhere you can find a world cuisine plus a regional cuisine, for example in Alsace and in the north of France. But in Lyon you have a double regional cuisine. A world cuisine as in any major internal city, but also a gastronomic one, inherited from the bourgeois cookswoman, from the silk traders, and from the few and brassy mother. A popular regional cuisine inherited from the silk workers. I will show you in a short video all these products and dishes. Regarding the third criteria, a culinary tradition, there is a 5th century, as I told you, in the history of Lyon gastronomy, regarding this old tradition of eating well. It is, this tradition came from the silk industry. It is very anchored in business, politics, and Lyon family. We will expand a little bit regarding that later on. And it is supported since the French Revolution by tens of gourmet brotherhoods. It's a tradition in Lyon to eat in brotherhoods, to share a good meat or good gratin vaudouillette and spend good time. Regarding the presence of experienced chefs, of course, Lyon gave birth to the most famous chef of the planet, Paul Bocuse, but Lyon has many other assets today. Lyon is well, I am not going to detail these figures because we do not have any time. Lyon is the number one in terms of number of restaurants at the Collège Culinaire de France. Is the number two in terms of a number of restaurants per capita. Lyon is number two also in terms of number of restaurants with a Michelin Bib Gourmand label. The Bib Gourmand label is very important because it is not a 1, 2, or 3 Michelin star restaurant. It's a restaurant that cook good, seasonal and fresh product in a good way. But in addition, the menu must be under 65 euro in Paris and 62 euro out of Paris. So it's a good image of a local gastronomy. Lyon was in 2016 the fourth most Michelin-starred city in Europe, behind Paris, London, and Berlin. Of course, I agree with you. Today, since Paul Bocuse died 3 years ago, Lyon has no longer a 3 Michelin-star restaurant. But you cannot be proud of having the best chef of the world in your city and expect to have other chefs coming from Paris, such as Alain Ducasse or Joël Rebuchon, going to Lyon to install their own restaurant. It was a stupid idea because Paul Bocuse had to decide everything, had to approve every installation in the city during 50 years. And what is 3 years compared to 5 century history? It's nothing. So I'm quite sure that in the coming years, a new 3 Michelin-star restaurant will be labelized in the city. Test for cooking or preparing a good meal at all level of the social scale. The test education is done very early in the city because the Lyonnais is used to go to restaurant with his family to celebrate gold or silver wedding or birthday. It is a real tradition. The Lyonnais is used to do business at the table. And Lyon has something special. Lyon is the only city in France where you go to the restaurant to negotiate a contract. It is a tradition inherited from the Sikh traders that were negotiating at home or at the restaurant. In other city in France, you sign a contract and you go then to the restaurant to celebrate the signature of a contract. It's completely different. And the Lyonnais eat in gourmet brotherhoods, and today I am quite sure we have still 40 brotherhoods just for eating well with good friends. We are used to say in Lyon, the gastronomic and Michelin-starred restaurants are for the bourgeoisie. The Bouchons are the local popular restaurant, and Bistro for the people, and Machon for everyone. I don't know if you know the Machon. This morning in your hotel you had maybe a continental or an American breakfast, but in Lyon you could ask also for a Lyon breakfast. Gratine of andouillette, plus cheese, a local cheese, a cervelle de Canut, for example. And the bottle of Beaujolais is also very good in the morning. You can taste it. In Lyon, we are also used to say we don't know each other until we have eaten together. It's very important. But it was just if Kornonsky came back, what is the status of Lyon today? But Lyon has many other assets. Lyon has more than 20 popular dishes served daily in the Bouchon, the popular restaurant. I just want to show you a short video. So, but we have also 10 gastronomic dishes served daily in the gastronomic restaurant. Again, a short video with these 10 gastronomic dishes. The chicken, the pig bladder. If you go to Paul Bocuse's restaurant, maybe you will have this exceptional dish. So, but gastronomy is not just about cooking. You can also bring back home from Lyon, maybe more than 20 delicatessen, pastry, and confectionery specialties offered by the food craftsmen. In some city you have a pastry and you have a delicatessen. In Lyon we have 20 specialties. Have a look. So good gastronomic shopping in Lyon. But as I told you, gastronomy is not about cooking. Lyon is also the only city in France where you can find restaurant guides. In other cities, in France, we have restaurant guides in Paris and in Lyon. In other cities, you have only restaurant guides for the region around a big city. But in Lyon, you can find five, six restaurant guides every year that are published. We have also 2 academies to defend its 2 regional cuisine. The Toque Blanche Lyonnaise, an academy of more than 100 chefs from Lyon, from France, and also international chefs to defend the gastronomic Lyon cuisine. We have also, another academy is the Franc Machon that defends the local machon, or the machon is the Lyon breakfast, and the local restaurant, the Bouchon. The Bocuse label continue to shine in the city with the competition of the Bocuse d'Or, with the Halle de Lyon Paul Bocuse, with a school, the Paul Bocuse Institute, and so on. And Lyon is still the number 1 in the world. When you do research in the social network, where the name of the city associated with the gastronomy, Lyon is the number 1 in the Google research, for example. Lyon an international image and reputation. Every 2, Most of the tourists that come in Lyon go to the Halles de Lyon Paul Bocuse. They are really unique in France. The Halles de Lyon Paul Bocuse are the best covered market in France regarding high-end and quality products. There are maybe 5 million visitors per year, and maybe during a certain weekend there are 10,000 people visiting the Halles de Lyon Paul Bocuse and buying goods, of course. Every 2 years, the CIRA take place in Lyon. It's a worldwide showcase dedicated to professional cuisine. This showcase attracts every 2 years 3,000 exhibitors, 200,000 professional visitors, and 25,000 chefs from all the world. During the CIRA takes place the Bocuse d'Or. The Bocuse d'Or is a competition created by Paul Bocuse. It is the biggest culinary show in the world. You have a picture here. It's the last winner, David Tissot, last September in Lyon. And David Tissot is a French chef coming from Lyon, and he is directly in the lineage of Paul Bocuse. So we are very proud to have David Tissot as the Bocuse d'Or winner. During this, the CIRA takes place also the World Pastry Cup. Is at the pastry what the Bocuse d'Or is at the cuisine. It is the biggest pastry show in the world. Some of the people, of the chefs, trained themselves during 2 years only for this competition, these competitions. So they are very important and they are international competitions. You can also find in Lyon the World Pâté-Croûte Championship or the Praline Tart Championships. Lyon is also turned to the future with the Street Food Festival. And we have also in Lyon 4 food court, and a special food court called Food Trouble in the whole city in Saint-Jean, where you can find street food in the same place. You can share in the same place, but street food based on local product. For example, if you want to take a kebab, it's a take kebab of andouillette. If you want a wrap, yes, you will find a wrap, but a wrap of crayfish tails. You want a hamburger of foie gras, it's better. And what else? If you want French fries of pike canals. Fabulous. On last September, during last CIRA, President Macron announced the creation of a Center of Excellence for French gastronomy in Lyon in order to defend and promote the culinary profession in international competitions. That means all the competitors that will compete in culinary competition around the world will be trained directly in the city in Lyon. We are also proud. A tradition of transmission. I told you that the Brasier Filloux, the mother of the Lyon gastronomy, trained the mother Filloux, the mother of the Lyon gastronomy, trained the Brasier mother, who trained Paul Bocuse. So we have also today a lot of schools in Lyon dedicated to cooking and cuisine. The first high school from the CFA François Rabelais. We have also the Paul Bocuse Institute with 700 students from 16 nationalities. Tsuji Culinary Institute, where Japan students come in France to be trained by French chefs to the French cuisine and techniques. And we have also another CFA of gastronomy in Marcy-l'Étoile, dedicated to unemployed people and people young that cannot pay for their study. And Lyon is very happy to get more than 100 chefs that got the title of Meilleur Ouvrier de France since the middle of the last century. So it's the first country in terms of the first city in terms of the number of Meilleur Ouvrier de France. But also Lyon has a vision, and it will be not my conclusion, but it's very important to have a vision, is to offer a new touristic destination from Dijon in the north to Marseille in the south, crossing the wall of the terroir that has nourished Lyon for centuries. This new vision is the gastronomy valley. The objective is to federate talent and terroir, to prevent other cities from stealing our title of world capital of gastronomy. The Italian tried a little bit. The objective is also to multiply. Now that Paul Bocuse is dead, we have nobody to do the French gastronomic promotion around the world. And it's the opportunity to have multiple chefs that can relay Paul Bocuse's action on promotion. In the north, you have the relay Bernard Loiseau. All are 2 or 3 Michelin stars. In Lyon, in Venas, Georges Blanc. In Lyon, in Vienne, La Pyramide à Vienne, or Mathieu Viennet. Anne-Sophie Pic, a 3 Michelin star chef. And in the south, in Marseille, Gérald Paseda, a 3 Michelin star who can do this promotion on the promotion of the product of the Gastronomy Valley. But you have the challenge, it's to move from the world capital of gastronomy in 1925 to the World Gastronomy Valley in 2025. It's a big challenge. Have a look just to the figures of this Gastronomy Valley. 400 kilometers of vineyards, 25,000 restaurants, 90 Michelin star chefs, 90 big gourmand chefs, and so on and so on. So it's the fabulous terroir. It is the terroir that nourished Lyon for years. Have a look also of your visit. You can start from Dijon, capital of the Duke of Burgundy, then Beaune, a city of Burgundy wines, and Mâcon, city of Burgundy wines also, Beaujeu, capital of the Beaujolais wines, Lyon, with the International City of Gastronomy on the Halles de Lyon. Ampuis, the south, is the capital of the Suez cepage. Tain-l'Hermitage, city of chocolate. Valence, city of taste. Richerange, capital of the truffle. Most of the truffle in France, 80% of the truffle came from the southeast of France, not from the Périgord. Yes, so Richerange is the capital. Montélimar, capital of nougat, and you can end in Avignon, city of the Pope, and capital of the Côte-du-Rhône. So I will. France is indubtably considered worldwide as a country of gastronomy for different reasons. First, the gastronomy is born during the splendor of Versailles before the French Revolution under the King Louis XIV. And this splendor was copied everywhere in the royal and imperial court in Europe. The restaurant was invented in France and deployed all over the world. The gastronomic discourse, that means the culinary criticism, was invented in France just after the revolution. France is known as the homeland of the good product. We have the best chef, I regret, but it's like that. Antonin Carême, Auguste Escoffier, Paul Bocuse, Alain Ducasse, Joël Robuchon, Woodtrend, thousands of people everywhere in the world, even today. And we invented the food and wine pairings, the tableware. And in 2010, the gastronomic meal of the French was recognized by the UNESCO. It is also very important. So as a conclusion, we can say that Paris is the capital of the country of gastronomy and probably the best city in the world for eating out. Lyon is the gastronomic capital of France with no equivalent in the world. And it is my opinion, I believe that Lyon still deserves to be considered as the world capital of gastronomy yet, but Lyon has a big challenge to face, is to transform itself to become the epicenter of the world gastronomy valley in 2025. Thank you very much for your attention. I expect that I gave you some other inputs and figures to consider Lyon in another way as the world capital of gastronomy. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Yves. As someone from the United Kingdom, we probably have little understanding of anything about gastronomy, but you have delivered something that made my eyes open quite regularly. Some of the food, I was glad I'd had breakfast because it was making me very hungry. But I have to say that that was an excellent talk, and thank you very much for coming to our meeting to provide us with this information, which has been well received. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, you too.
Thank you. Thank you. I think we now have to move on to our first session. So, who is here?
I think we have to move on because we are in time.
Yes, no problem.
So thank you very much for this amazing in-depth approach of the gastronomy in Lyon. maybe we have to go to the restaurant right now. Thank you very much.